Hello, everybody. Welcome along. It is the Benjamin Bloom Football Show, and we are here for the pre-match preview for Swansea versus Leeds. Huge game up at the top of the Championship table. Leeds can push towards that 8 points. Was it 7 points that they need to get up and over the line, with Brentford giving chase, but West Brom make the slightest little slip yesterday, so it did get more interesting yesterday. Swansea can get themselves back into the playoff positions today with a win. This is a big one, let's just say. If you are in the chat, please stick that thumbs up button and get involved in the comments. Plenty of live comments coming in right now. We're after your predictions for this game, and we're going to have a little look at what happened yesterday first off. So, big day yesterday as well. Here are your results. Charlton 0, Reading 1, Derby 1, Brentford 3. That is very relevant for this game because Derby slipped up, Brentford didn't. Down at the bottom, Barnsley 0, Wigan 0. Blackburn 1, West Brom 1. I'm sure all the Leeds, Brentford and Fulham supporters were all over that one. Millwall 1 at Hull. They are on Swansea's heels. Bristol City 1 at Borough. The second straight win for Dean Holden there. They are also still in the playoff picture. Preston 1, Forest 1. Not helpful for either really, but Forest looking safer in their spot than Preston are. QPR 0, Wednesday 3. That was a bit of an on the beach one, wasn't it? Wednesday still needs some points to warn off a possible FFP deduction. On Friday night, Huddersfield 0, Luton 2. Big result for Luton. And it was Fulham 2, Cardiff 0. That's what's opened things up for Derby, who didn't take the chance yesterday, but Swansea do have the chance to get into sixth spot. Here are your two fixtures today. Stoke and Birmingham down at the bottom. And this huge one, Swansea versus Leeds. Let's have a little look at the top half of the table and how yesterday affected things. Let me just remove that and you'll be able to see everything very clearly. West Brom drawing in this relentless race there where Leeds have got 10 points from 4. West Brom were 3 wins on the trot. It's a little slip. Look at the two chasers. Brentford 7 wins on the trot. Fulham now 4 wins on the trot. The pace is incredible, and it could be just that slightest little drop of form away at Blackburn yesterday from West Brom that could let somebody in. Remember, West Brom's next game is at home to Fulham. Unbelievable fixture schedule in there from the EFL. So Leeds are going to want to keep winning given what Brentford and Fulham have been up to. Remember, Brentford can only now get 87. Leeds need 7 to get promoted. Can they get 3 of those points today? And look at Swansea there. It has opened up. 7 points in the last 3 for the Swans, including 2 straight wins against 2 straight defeats for Cardiff. And a 6-point gap there has evaporated. Look at Millwall there, 2 wins in 3, and the easiest running thing for Millwall. Look at Bristol City there, 2 straight wins. That 6th place race is on. Forest just with a 5-point cushion there. We will not look at the bottom of the table because we're focusing on this one. Keep your comments coming in. We'll just do all the analysis first, and then I will get your predictions and I will get your comments in. In the meantime, you can support the channel where you type your comments. Just hit that dollar button and you can donate there, or you can subscribe on Patreon. But remember, literally hitting like and commenting is supporting the channel, and that is absolutely free. Here is your snapshot from Infogol and Betfair there down the bottom, hugely behind Leeds on this one. 59% say Infogol, 57% say Betfair. Leeds are the big favourites, but we know it's the Championship. It's Leeds. It's not always going to be that simple, is it? Let's have a look at the last 10 for each. Outstanding from Leeds there. Before and after lockdown, we've got an even split now. 5 games since lockdown, 5 games before, 8 wins and 1 draw, 1 defeat in there as well. The first game back at Cardiff in Wales. I'm sure the more superstitious Leeds fans will be worrying about that, and the more superstitious Swansea fans will be hoping that that will be some kind of omen. 8 wins and a draw is 25 points from 10 games, 2.5 points per game. That is championship 100-point form across 46 games, if ever I did see it. There are the Swans, and the first thing you notice is they don't lose very often. A home defeat to Luton is a bit of an outlier, because the only other defeat is against Fulham, who are well up there in 4th position. Aren't they? Lots of draws. It's 4 wins, 4 draws, 2 defeats. It's not 2.5 points per game. It's 1.6 points per game. But roll that out, as I love to do. That's 73 points. That is playoff form, one would think, over 10 games. Let's just see where our totals are. Do we think 73 gets you in the playoffs? I think it does this season for sure. Particularly that 6th spot is open up. Right, let's have a look at the teams. We'll have a look at the benches. And I promise you, I will get to your comments very, very soon. Swansea, Steve Cooper is toying and playing around with it a little bit. Normally a 4-2-3-1 manager, but look there, a 3 at the back is what Infogol are projecting there. Woodman in goal. Norton is normally a fullback. He will be a centre-back, we think. Cabango and Guay make up the back 3. Remember, there is no Rodden. There is no Van der Horn there. There is no Wilmot there as well. You would think all would be, maybe apart from, no, I think all 3 would maybe be ahead of those guys there in terms of the back. Remember as well that approach that Stoke had in the first half, where it was pretty much a back 5 with James McLean tucking in. That's how teams are going against Leeds now, and that bombard of players forward you get under Bielsa. Fulton and Grimes is the double pivot. That's good. That's strong. Leeds fans will obviously be familiar with Grimes. Fulton on the score sheet last time. Roberts and Bidwell, the wing-backs. To be fair, Bidwell has proved me wrong. I think he's gone from QPR there, and I thought, could he step up into a footballing team? Yes, he could. Look for them to try and get up and down, but remember, primarily against Leeds, you're going to have Ayling and Dallas coming against you. Ayew, Gallagher, Brewster. That is strong. It just depends on the shape and how defensive Swansea are looking in respects of how they can get those players forward. Neither of those players is really a winger. Ayew more than Gallagher. Gallagher wants to be a number 10. So not entirely sure about the balance of those front 3. That said, they're all good players. If they can work off the cuff and work together, they'll be looking good. And someone who is looking good is Rhian Brewster. Let it be known, I'm already predicting he's going to be the Tammy Abraham next season. If someone's going to want that guy on loan and expect him to knock in 20 goals down in the Championship, he ain't getting near that Liverpool team. He's on good form as well, Brewster. Good player as well. Great free kick against Millwall and scored in a couple of the other games. Do I need to even put the Leeds team up? Bielsa never messes with the team. So that means the great Pablo Hernandez still on the bench. But hey, if Pablo's gig is to wait for the teams to be softened up, come in and do the damage like he did in the past couple of games, I'm sure he'll be quite happy to play that role. Meslier in goal. Ayling, White, Cooper, Dallas. Remember, Douglas did get a game at left back, but Bielsa loves Dallas. The Milner of the Championship, Stuart Dallas. Calvin Phillips, deep line playmaker as ever. Roberts retains his place despite Hernandez's outstanding second half there with Klitsch. Just a little bit more legs and ability to get into the box with Roberts than you get from Hernandez. And it means you can rest Pablo until maybe the second half if you need him. Hey, I'm sure if Bielsa can win this game without Hernandez, he won't even use him. But what a player to have on the bench. Costa and Harrison. Costa played well against Stoke, didn't he? Got a goal, won the penalty to open the game up for Leeds. Harrison is very consistent as well. And all the naysayers, how good was Bamford against Stoke? He was excellent. Okay, he missed that dink in the first half, but it was his brilliant burst through to get in there. What about that step over for Hernandez goal and then a brilliant finish from Bamford for his own goal there? I know I have a reputation as a Bamford apologist here, but he was excellent against Stoke, wasn't he? Come on, even the naysayers have got to admit that. Let's have a look at the bench. There is Mike van der Hoorn on the bench, so there you go. What do I know? Selena can do damage. The old hands there, Dyer and Routledge if he wants to go 4-2-3-1, and Kalulu and Danda indeed as well. A whole slew of options there. So if this isn't going well, expect maybe one of those centre halves to step out and a 4-2-3-1 to be deployed there. Byers as well is a good player to come from the bench, particularly if Swansea are in the game. They want to hold on to the ball. They're adding Byers in with Fulton and Grimes. They are very good in possession and good at retaining the ball, Swansea. Leeds, Douglas, the left back. Paveda, well, it's a bit of a Jean-Kevin Augustin there. Came in January, he's barely got a kick, hasn't he? Alioski's been good off the bench. Hernandez there is the guy. Berardi might finish the game he did the other day. Unlikely to see Miazek, Struik and Bogus. We will likely see Shackleton, particularly for the last 10 minutes, if Leeds are in a strong position there. That guy can run until the cows come home. 97 comments in here. We're going to have a look in a minute. I absolutely promise you that. Here is my view. The Stoke thing worked out until half-time for Stoke, as in sitting right back, really low block and frustrating. Traditionally, that has worked against Bielsa, hasn't it? Swansea are not going to do that. However, cast your minds back to August, and Swansea did get a 1-0 win where Leeds, as you'd expect, had the possession and the XG and the territory and the chances, but a late goal. Who scored that? Was it Routledge, I think? Back in August to put Swansea top of the table there, wasn't it? At the end of the first load of game weeks before the first international break. Swansea will keep the ball better than Stoke. They will have more possession than Stoke. Does that suit Leeds? Maybe it does. Look, we know exactly what Leeds are going to do, don't we? We know every restart is going to try and be an attack. We know the fullbacks are going to be forward. We know Phillips is going to drop in. Be interesting to see how 3 at the back or 5 at the back Swansea come out. You'd think with it being Steve Cooper, it wouldn't be as defensive as Michael O'Neill's Stoke was the other night. But Leeds do dominate, and we'll see. And they have been frustrated by mass low blocks before. We just do not know. Leeds have an excellent defence, but they will give you a chance, particularly if you can transition the ball quickly. They have the 2 players in the double pivot to do that with Grimes and Fulton. They can move the ball accurately. Remember, Ayew is a direct player. Gallagher is a good finisher, as he proved at Charlton. Brewster is excellent. Can you get Brewster one-on-one, particularly with maybe with Cooper rather than White there? It's going to be tight. Let's see, though. Leeds, big statement, and that 2.5 points per game over 10 games says this is a Leeds side in very, very good form. Let's have a look at your comments, guys. I am going to scroll up. There is absolutely tons of them. Sorry. Come on, dear oh me. Technophobe here, trying to do my best. Baggies Forever says, if Leeds win, they are up. The games are running out, aren't they? 3 games to go now. And what is the total now for Leeds? 7 points, as my Twitter tells me. We are 15 minutes from kickoff. Remember, this one is not on Sky. I have paid money to LUTV to watch this. Carl, who's got a Swans badge on there, says, stop worrying. Leeds fans, Eli's still happy, even though he's a Barnsley fan. Logan says, massive game for the both of us. First time watching, says Carl. Welcome along. Hit that subscribe button. We can't do ourselves a favour today. Hopefully Swansea can. Leeds don't want to lose this one and be as anxious as West Brom fans would be now. Literally one little slip there from West Brom and it is on. But Brentford and Fulham need to keep winning. Logan says 2-0 Leeds. MB says 3-1 Leeds. Carl says bigger game for Swansea today because Leeds can afford to lose and still go up. Perhaps that is true. Eli, the Barnsley fan, not happy. Awful result, he says, yesterday. Michael said, would you rather play for a team fighting relegation or would you rather play a team fighting relegation or fighting for promotion? Neither, really. You'd rather play, at the moment, Sheffield Wednesday, QPR, Reading, those guys in the middle. But then they can do weird stuff. Carl says 2-1. Ollie says, biggest game of our season. Nick said, this could be one of those slip-up games. I said that in another stream. This is not an easy game for Leeds. Stoke was easy in the end, however well Leeds played. But remember, Stoke did make it easy for Leeds. Stoke were in the game until that crazy tackle just before half-time. JR says, win or lose, we are going up, but still thinks 3-1. Baggies Forever says, watch our highlights and tell me how we didn't win. Did you see that chance for Blackburn at 1-1, though? A huge chance. Blackburn missed a 1-1 here. Lana, who was the predictions guru yesterday, predicting Ben Hamer would make a mistake 5 minutes before he did. Tight game, 2-1 win. Predict referee will be terrible. There we go. Ewan says, come on, Leeds, don't beat yourselves. And that has actually been a thing for Leeds, particularly at Elland Road, the anxiety and the tension and that pressure of that massive support getting on them. But there we go. Sean says, I went to Elland Road for the first time over 50 years ago. I'm not nervous. Guys, check this out. Can you see that there? There is my ticket for this game. Obviously, lockdown paid for that, but I was expecting to travel to Wales for this one. Obviously, I was expecting this could have been the game that Leeds got up, so I went in and got a ticket for this one and the Derby game there. Right, let's have a look. Any more predictions in there? Pasta Macaroni says West Brom should have lost. 2 clear chances at Blackburn. Yes, and check out my review show later on. I do have a screenshot. Hell of a chance for Blackburn at 1-1. They could have lost it. Yeah, it was. Oh, was it Davenport? Yeah. There we go. Baggy says after we had about 500 chances. So we'll look at the XG. Leeds are rampant. 3-1 Leeds, says Jason, indeed. Any more predictions here? Evening says Max, he's on the Beers. 2-0 Leeds. The Leeds fans are more, I think they're more confident. They were more anxious, I think, before the Stoke game. I think Leeds fans always look at those home games against the lower team as this would be typical Leeds to throw it away. The race is on for 6th, indeed, says Wolf. Let's just bring up that table and have a look at the race for 6th because Swansea right in there. Millwall have the run-in, and if I remove Wolf's comment just for 1 sec there, you can see Bristol City 2 straight wins and not out of it. Wouldn't that be utterly the most championship thing possible for Lee Johnson to leave Bristol City and a caretaker manager to win 4 games in a row or whatever it would be to get them up there? Speng Boyles says, who do I think will make the top 2? That is a hard one to call, and it could really open up if Leeds do not win today. All those Fulham fans are looking at that game against West Brom. Can they go there and win it? Let's have a look. Looks like Wolves are winning 2-0 against Everton. Baggies Forever says West Brom v Wolves is the biggest game of the season for the automatic promotion race. The last game with direct rivals. Remember, we've had Brentford and Fulham, and Brentford won that. We've had Brentford and West Brom, and West Brom won that. Remember New Year's Day, Leeds and West Brom at the Hawthorns. They kind of settled on a draw each there, didn't they, with some fair time to go. So Pasta says Blackburn won on the XG, indeed. I say one on the XG. People get upset with that, don't they? They had a higher XG, let's just say. But Anton, come on Swans, as a Liverpool fan, I have a soft spot for them. Steve Cooper, former youth coach. Yes, Mike Marsh on the bench there as well. And, of course, Rhian Brewster. We'll have a good look at Rhian Brewster today. Swansea overdue a defeat. Yes, only 2 defeats in 10. Indeed. Leeds are going 3-3-1-3. You see, we always hear about this 3-3-1-3. It's never really like that, is it? This Bielsa legendary thing. If you actually look at the team shape when they're in possession, yes, you get the 3, but you often get the fullbacks. It's more 3-1-3-3. You know, you never actually get a number 10, particularly with the players that Leeds have got. It doesn't quite ever work out as, what did Lions say, 3-3-1-3. You never tend to get the 3 up front and the 1 on their own. But what we all know is there'll be not many players defending and a lot attacking. But look, you can read books on Bielsa's tactics, but with the ball, I never really buy that formation. But hey, what you know is there's going to be loads of players attacking. Jake's no. Round of applause. Can we drink to you? Do I have a Pepsi? Yes, I do. Super chat there from Jake Snow. Thank you so much. Love the channel. Still be watching when you go up. Would you cover the EPL? Do you prefer Championship football? I only ever started Championship football because my team Ipswich were in there for 100 years. But the plan is we will do a Championship alumni show next season. So we will keep covering Leeds just purely because there are so many Leeds fans. Logan says, but we always switch to 3-3-1-3. Have a look. I don't think you ever see. So what we're talking about here is Cooper and White with Phillips in between. Then the 3-3-1-3 would then have you then having the fullbacks, so Ayling and Dallas with, say, Klitsch and Roberts in between. That's where you never get the 3 because they're always further forward, aren't they? So I mean, I'm arguing myself in circles here. I think it looks more like a 3-4-3. You never get the 1 on its own. There's never a number 10. I remember, who was it? Riquelme. Bielsa couldn't find a spot for a player that great. There you go. Let's have a little looky. Lion says, Bielsa always goes 1 spare defender. Yes, he does. That is very, very true. Jake Snow could be happy with a draw today. Derby out of the playoffs in spirit after watching them yesterday. Space they left yesterday would have been a playground for Pablo. Yes, indeed, it would have been. Peacocks v Swans, says Sean. We're about 5 minutes from kickoff. We'll do a few more comments. Jin says, come on, Leeds, let's do it for Big Jack. Yes, rest in peace, Jack Charlton. Did a small tribute yesterday. There is a plan to do a bit of a career retrospective with David Diamond. Bamford is on a run. Yes, what's he got, 4 in 6 or something like that? Someone will check me in the comments if I'm wrong about that. PH Lee says Swansea can't play for a draw, and I don't think they will. I think they'll be well organised, but what I will say is Millwall should have beaten Swansea in the last game I watched Swansea, so we will see. Isn't Byers one of Swansea's best players? He's a good player, Byers, yeah, so maybe that shows respect for Leeds. So Jake is back, says, I've slagged Bamford off at times, it's not personal. Nobody wants their number 9 to fail if he acquits himself. All is forgiven. There you go. Selena can be one of the best on his day, but he threw his toys out of the plan. Remember, you're talking to an Ipswich fan. I have lots of Bersant Selena knowledge. Can be a very frustrating player. Why doesn't Douglas start? Because Bielsa loves Dallas, basically. Will this stream show the game live, or is it just talk along? I'm stopping at, as we know, let's just bring up my little schedule here. Which I can't because I haven't put it in. So no, I won't be going during the game. I'll be back at halftime so I can give my full focus on the game. Indeed, we do pre-game, halftime, and then full time. Here, Dan is nervous. I'm sure he's not the only one. Oh dear. There's a button you can press on StreamYard, which I use, that scrolls all the comments down, and I've just pressed it. Tend to play well against the top teams, says Swansea. That's what the Forest fans say as well, don't they? Swansea is a decent team, expecting a good battle if Leeds get a first half goal. I wouldn't want to be at Swansea. There you go. Max says, might as well say this, but a draw isn't the end of the world. Leeds will still have to lose and draw 2 out of the last 3. Very, very true. There you go. A rational Leeds fan. Here we go. Leeds have learned the lessons of last season. Expect them to win with confidence. Badger says, as a Leeds fan, I can't remember when I was so nervous. Oh, yes, on Thursday before the Stoke game. Absolutely. Mike says, can't believe you let Pablo go. Talking about Swansea. Picked him up from Qatar for nothing. Mick's nervous as well. Who do I think will finish higher out of Swansea and Cardiff? Asks Gus. I don't know, but whoever does is getting 6th place, isn't it? I'm just going to, I'll have to check the fixtures. We'll do another run-in video if we've got time on Monday. Kevin. Oh, Berlin. We've been going around the world with our followers here. And we've been to Thailand and Canada and Australia and New Zealand. First one from Berlin. Hello, Kevin. There. Wolf says 2-0 Leeds. Mick says 1 foot in the Prem with a win today. Archie says win today and we're up. Lord Bamford of Bamfordshire. He's playing well, guys. He's playing well. Josh is still anxious. Of course he is. He's a Leeds fan. 3-1 today. Leeds have scored 12 in the last 4. Yes, that's relevant, isn't it? Badger says we never have 3 up front. Totally, totally true. All attack together down the sides, don't they? Knuckles on Twitter there. You can comment on Twitter. Nice Leeds to win, obviously, but happy with a draw. There you go. You have got some calm Leeds fans here who are not too anxious, I think. The Championship is a brilliant league, Ben, apart from it being a financial nightmare. There you go. Raquelme didn't work defensively. That's true, but what a player. Hey, you'd find a place for him in your team, wouldn't you? Fidan says, so again we go. Wait for Alioski and Hernandez in the second half. It worked against Fulham. Rob is here and says, Mill, which is always a good bit of fun. Millwall still on the chase, and so are Bristol City for that playoff position. And who's holding it at the moment? Cardiff holding it that Swansea are going for. Martin, sitting on a train in Moscow on my way to St. Petersburg, frantic with nerves, come on Leeds. Really a worldwide channel here. Shaft, I'm down with anxiety before the Swansea match. There we go. Right. Thank you all so much. It's going to be tight. I think I had Leeds by 1 in my predictions, but wouldn't it put the cat amongst the pigeons if Swansea could get something from this game? Please come back at half-time. I'm watching on LUTV, which I paid 10 quid for, so I hope the stream is okay. I will see you all back at half-time. Thank you for your support, the likes, and particularly that super chat as well. I think it's from Jake, wasn't it? So you can support the channel by doing all of that. Enjoy the game if you're watching. If you're not watching and you haven't got a stream, please come back at half-time and I will fill you in on all of the happenings. Thank you for watching. Over and out. See you at half-time. Swansea versus Leeds. Here we go.